Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, guys, I'm gonna do a reading for y'all. Okay. I'm gonna do a reading for y'all, and this has been something that's kind of just been percolating. I saved a video. That video that I saved, it kind of has been all up in my head lately. I came across it late last night, and when I asked what this reading was going to be about, what I actually heard and saw was that video. So let me go ahead and just airdrop this to myself, so that way we can go ahead and see it together. And oh, is there no sound? Let's see. Hello. Oh. Why am I like this? I was like, hello. There's no sound. Yeah, because I'm not plugged in. Okay. Well. Well then. The degree of me coming forward right now. That is me. That is how my life goes. Okay, let me just pull cards. Here, I'm going to go ahead. What I'm going to do, I am going to play this video for you guys while I go ahead and pull cards. Let's be efficient. Y'all got me for 90 minutes. Nothing more. All right. So first and foremost, let's go ahead. Okay. Let's share this. This is like super de-duper important. This right here. I think for many of us, as we are approaching a time and space where we're stepping into our actual power, we're letting ourselves get to a point where we're going to push through and live our actual purpose. You're going to come across this. I've come across this several times, more times than I care to admit, but I've come across this quite a bit. And I think it's important for you guys to be prepared for the challenges of having a very elevated purpose. So let's go.
You cannot be friends with people who want your life. Now, don't get me wrong. You can be friends with people who are inspired by your life. You can be friends with people who want their own version of your life for themselves, but you cannot be friends with someone who wants your life. Nothing good ever comes from being friends with someone who envies exactly what you have. It is a breeding ground for resentment. It is also a breeding ground for competition. And for anyone who's confused, one example is someone who wants your partner. It's not that they want someone who is like your partner. It's not that they want someone who will love them just as much as your partner loves you. They want your partner, as in that specific person. Another example is them wanting your job. It's not that they want a job that is just as fulfilling to them as yours is to you, or they want a similar job to yours. They want your specific job. And sometimes it's not even about a job, an opportunity, a person, an object. Sometimes they just want the energy you attract. They see how people react when they are around you and they want that. They want your life. Reason why I said earlier that it's a breeding ground for resentment and competition is because in all those scenarios, one very common way people try and acquire what you have is through competing with you. And they may do it in the most insidious of ways. They compete with you through spreading misinformation in an effort to get people to dislike you, whether it's your boss, whether it's your partner, whether it's friends, whether it's family members. They may compete with you by trying to throw you under the bus publicly or embarrass you publicly in front of other people. Another way people may display this is by crossing lines, by doing the absolute most, by crossing boundaries, by going above and beyond and doing things that are not within their remit in an attempt to make you look bad. And another way you can spot someone like this is how they react to your good news and bad news. When you give them bad news, do you see them smirk a little? Do they look a bit happy? Do they look a bit satisfied? When you give them good news, do they look kind of annoyed? Are they kind of irritated by the fact something is going well for you? And earlier I said it is a breeding ground for resentment because even if they think they mean well in the beginning, because they want exactly what you have, eventually they will grow to resent you. And the most painful part about this is because they want exactly what you have and not their own version of it or not something similar, the only way for them to acquire what you have is for you to no longer be in the picture. Pay attention to the relationships you have, how people respond to you. And when someone shows you who they are, please believe them the first time.
How many times have y'all heard me say, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time they show you? How many times have you heard me say that? That's one of my most well learned my most well learned lessons. Why? Because for so long I did not want to believe that people who I love, people who I am pledging loyalty to, and I am, man, my level of loyalty is ridiculous sometimes. I didn't want to believe that I could be such a poor judge of character. I wanted to believe that I could love someone into a space of wholeness, aka um, turning them into the person that I believe they are capable of being. Right? How many of us have done that? Create these excuses for people who are showing us who they are. Now, what are you going to do if you face something like this? I'm going to give you the answer. This is my answer too. It resonated so deeply.
So,
Oh,
it just dawned on me.
baby boo, hold on. I got to put you on the screen so you can have proper credit. Hold on. Bonnie Drip. Okay.
So, it just dawned on me. Every time somebody done did some fucked up shit to me, and I be having it in my head, I'ma do them like the same way they did me, or I'ma do this, I'ma do that. And then when I see them or I talk to them, I just smile and play it cool. Because you know why? It's okay that I don't have the same characteristics to do weird shit that you do. But what I do have in me is to laugh and be cool, smile, still be the cute, loving, fun, getting money person that I am, and cut off access to me. That's fucked up. You did me a certain way, and all I do is smile, still be nice to you, and you could never have access to me again, bitch. That's gonna kill you worse than me ever trying to do the weird shit that you did to me.
Yep. Absolutely. Cutting off access to you, your sacred space, your sacred energy is the most powerful reclamation of your energy, your sovereignty, Do not listen to people who will not give you permission to cut off these toxic users' access to you. I am learning this over and over and over again. I am learning to trust myself. I am very accurate in my assessment of people. And despite knowing this, that empath in me, that wounded child in me, that part of me that knows what it feels like to have nobody, it makes me not want to believe the reality of what this person is showing me about who they are. Now, one last video before we start. This right here, this is for you. Not just how to handle things, not just a pep talk. This is the reality of sometimes what you need to do. Okay? So let me get Mr. Nicotina on the screen. I love this guy. I do. I love this guy. What a beautiful, beautiful artist.
You know what your problem is? You don't realize how big y'all are. You got to remind people who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's watch it one more time. Such a potent truth that it only takes 10 seconds to remind you something so powerful and life-altering. 10 seconds, handful of words. It'll change your life.
You know what your problem is? You don't realize how big y'all are. You got to remind people who you are.
Sometimes the most potent, the most powerful way to remind someone of what a big deal you are is what? To withdraw your consent to them accessing you. There's nothing you need to explain, because the people who would believe the horrible things that someone else would say about you are people who did not want to get to know you to begin with. They already felt some sort of way about you. I don't know why. I get this often. People who feel some type of way about me, not even knowing me, and they feel some type of way. It's not for me to go out of my way to try and convince you that you mislabeled me, that you mis-whatevered me. You believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to try and convince you that you're wrong. When you try and convince someone they're wrong, that's a fool's errand. Because that's the more the person will grip onto that belief. These are the people who really were just waiting for someone else to give them an excuse to validate the erroneous beliefs they have about you. That's not a loss to you, baby boo. It's not a loss to you. It is a gift to have the trash cleared out. Now, wherever this reading is going, for whoever this is going to resonate with, there's someone in your circle who wants what you have. It is something that you've worked for. They want what you have. Now, regardless of what they want, boo, you're secure. Your home front is secure. If you don't know whether or not it is secure, if you need some reassurance, honey, take some time. Take some time. Do an accounting of everything in your life. Is there something you have that someone else can take from you. Even for relationships, this is my logic. As much as I love my husband, I'm actively in love with him. I don't just love him because I've known him for more than half my life at this point. I'm actively in love with this man. Now, if there was another person who was able to get his attention and convince him to do things that would dishonor what we have committed ourselves to building together, that wasn't my husband anymore. It wasn't. Maybe he just didn't have the courage to tell me. But clearly, he was no longer happy. If that type of situation were to happen, he was no longer happy. It is what it is. You cannot take from me what is rightfully for me. Whatever creation has set aside for you, no one can take that from you. Do you know how many people have tried to take things from me that creation has set aside specifically for me? And because I am the person that I am, it's always been this thing of just, but you have things set aside for you. Why would you want what's for me? That's weird. That's weird. I mean, do you want it that bad? You could have just asked. I'm all about sharing. Did you want some recognition for something? Are you having a rough day? Like, what is happening here? I don't understand what's causing you to act this way, to see life this way, to covet something that's not for you in this way. Right? And as I've grown, as I've gone through the things that I've gone through, which I needed to go through those things. I'm not grateful that those people were horrendous. Well, let's call it what it is. They're horrible. Those people are horrible people. But I am grateful for the opportunity that my life and my soul provided me to better cultivate the most powerful way to use the depth at which I love others. That's what I am. I'm a lover. I love people. I'm not social. There's difference. There's a difference. At my core, there's nothing I want more than to love on people, to take care of people, to nurture people. But you can't waste all of your energy on people who don't have the capacity, the maturity, the integrity to be able to receive the kind of love and healing, friendship, companionship that you're offering. Not everyone is able or willing to receive what you offer. And not everyone, unfortunately, not everyone has your heart. You have to learn this. And you have to be able to accept when you, unfortunately, again, fall back into these cycles of not believing what your intuition told you about the person that you're now having to deal with. Okay? That was a passion that went upside down. You are most likely a person who is very passionate about caring for the people that you love. You're probably very, very passionate about that. It's okay to have agape love for people where it's like, just because you exist, you deserve love. But to devote the type of love that must be earned by the individual, I don't know that that's the best idea. That has to be earned. It just does. It has to be earned. They have to earn your trust. They have to earn their place in your life, in your inner circle. Okay. And these are some of the ways that you can greatly reduce the unnecessary adversity that you will face allowing those type of people into your life. Okay? Spring. There's going to be a lot of growth between now and spring. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to go through. These things that you're going to go through are going to challenge the way you receive others. It's going to challenge your perception, your perspective. It's going to cause you to begin functioning in your life in a way that you haven't functioned before, in a way that is much more in alignment with the reality of your power. You are much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Those who have been in my workshops, I remember one person specifically, it was their first time, I believe, joining one of my workshops, one of my virtual workshops. And we were going through the exercises, the techniques that I was teaching. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, I feel this and this. Like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, I've never felt energy like this before. And then I realized, like, do they think it's me doing that? I'm not working on you. Right. So I paused the lesson content and I had to let them know, like, that energy you're feeling, it's yours. It's not me. I'm not working on you. I'm simply instructing you. That's your energy. And this specific individual was like, now I understand what you mean when you say you have no idea how powerful you are. It's time for you to get a good idea of how powerful you are, how capable you are. There are those who want what you have because they see your capacity. They recognize your power and they want it. They want it. They want what you have. This is not about egging you on to be confrontational and combative and, any of that other stuff, be aggressive. Like, this is about being proactive. This is about believing yourself and your intuition, your accuracy. This is about making yourself the priority at this point. For many of us who do these things and experience these types of experiences, it's because we're people pleasers. Do you know why you're a people pleaser? Because at some point in your life, you felt so disappointed, abandoned, and rejected by everyone who should have loved you, cherished you, protected you from these types of feelings. As if that wasn't bad enough, at some point, you began to internalize it and you began to blame yourself. And then you began to think, well, if only I was a little more this, a little more that, a little less this, a little less that. If I just do more of what you want before you even ask me to, then maybe you'll see that I'm enough. The problem is that when you do that for people who are vacuumless voids, people who can never have enough, who are never satisfied, every cycle you go through with them where you try and please them, but they're never pleased, it drives you further and further away from your truth that you were born enough. You are enough. And there is nothing you need to do to be enough. You just naturally are. Everything about you was carefully calibrated by Creator, by God, by whatever you want to call this divinity. It was very carefully calibrated. And that is how I know you are enough. I am enough. We are enough just as we are. And as our ability to fulfill an even higher purpose is presented to us, we naturally have already increased in what we are. And therefore, for any given moment of your life, you were, are, and will be enough with no effort. with no effort. This is just a natural part of your process. Concealment in reverse. You can no longer hide from yourself. You can no longer hide from others. Whoever this is in your circle that wants what you have, that degree of ego-based toxicity, fear-based distortions. Man, I've faced that so many times. So many times. Those are all the people who saw me in a much more clear way than I've ever been able to see myself. It took me many years to understand this. It was never because you were unlovable. It was never because you're irritating. It's because you represent a potentiality they are afraid to see in themselves. So instead of cultivating those aspects of them that are reflected at them from you, they project onto you all their insecurities, and they want to take, they want to corrupt. There's no rule in creation that says you have to allow by virtue of your sovereignty. You are the utmost authority within your auric space. You are in control. If you allow them, you are not a victim. You are a co-creator. You allowed. You allowed. It's not about blame. It's about recognizing the ways in which you are not utilizing the opportunities you are being given to recognize the type of power that you have over yourself in your life. It's time that you let yourself recognize you are the utmost authority in your life. It's time. That's part of what needs to happen in order for you to reach a higher degree of existence, a higher degree and deeper depth of submission to soul, not to anyone else. Don't ever submit to anyone else. Soul, that's a whole nother story. Submit to soul. Let it do what it's trying to do for you. Stop fighting your process. Remember, concealment, cloak, that card was in reverse. So was secret. There is something that is being kept secret from you. I think for some, this is a secret you're keeping from yourself. Maybe it's some type of suppressed memory. Maybe you're still in a space of trying to convince yourself that you're not a big deal. That's okay. You don't have to believe you're a big deal in order for you to be a big deal. It's just something that you are. It's just something that you are. And you don't have to believe it. You don't have to do something to be that. You just are. You just are. Right? Ethos. Ethos is about mindset. This is the environment you're in. The mindset of the environment you're in has been greatly distorting the way you see yourself. Is there someone who is super jealous of you and they consistently go out of their way to make you feel inferior? They always go out of their way to cause you to feel ashamed, to feel guilty, to see yourself in a way that isn't the reality of who you are. They're all up in your head. For whatever reason, you have adopted their mindset. So this can be a friend that's not really a friend. This can be, it can even be a parent. Some parents did not work on their traumas. And unfortunately, that's how they behave. This could be a sibling, it could be a relative of some kind, a cousin, aunt, uncle, whoever, right? It could be whoever it is. You know who this is if this is someone that's in your life. Stop letting them get in your head. These are the people who cannot stand when you achieve something, but they are very, very quick to give you advice when things are going bad. They seem pretty satisfied that you have a little hiccup in your journey. Those are people you should not involve in your life at all. Now, you can't necessarily cut everyone off. There are some people in each of our lives where it's like you still need contact for one reason or another. And with that, I mean, you can definitely minimize your interactions with them. There's options. You look at the different things that you can do to ensure that even the people who you need to have contact with, that they will know their rightful place. So, you know, for a long period, my mother and I had a very contentious relationship. We just never really saw eye to eye. Um, she grew up and spent a large portion of her life in a different country. We immigrated here when I was a toddler, and we didn't go back until I was in my 30s. So I'm obviously raised in a different culture. I was immersed in a different culture. And so I have a different mindset, different values. And that was the root of our differences. She was very much about obligation. She's very much about, women have to play a specific role. I remember when I was learning how to drive and they didn't teach me how to drive. I lied to my brother. To two of them, my two oldest. So the first time I lied, I was 16. And I told my oldest brother that I already knew how to drive stick. And I wanted to take his compact SUV type thing around the block. I wanted to go run an errand. And he goes, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know how to drive stick." And so I took his car around the block a few times, and I knew I don't know how to drive stick. Yes. And so I put his car away. I didn't break it, but I ground some gears, quite a few gears. And then maybe 2 years later, I already had my license at that point. I told my second oldest brother, "Hey, my car won't make it all the way to Sacramento," which was like 2 hours away. I didn't tell him I was going to Sacramento. I was like, "Hey, I need to go do some work stuff." And the car's running weird. I don't want it breaking down on the side of the road. Can I borrow your car? I'm going to be doing work stuff, so I'm going to be gone all day. And he's like, "Yeah. Do you know how to drive stick?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know how to drive stick." And I drove that from the East Bay in California all the way to Sacramento in the rain, in commuter traffic. I taught myself how to drive stick that day. I did not stall once until, of course, I got home and parked the car. At which point, instead of turning it off, that's when I stalled. And it was this thing of the ethos in the house was that women, I come from I will say it, a misogynistic culture. Women are to be disempowered. Women are not allowed to drive stick shift. That's not to say that women don't drive stick shift in the Philippines, but the common opinion is that you're not a guy. You're just supposed to be driven places. Like, can you just act like a girl? Which that would drive me nuts. Like, no, I don't need you driving me anywhere. And so once my family realized that I taught myself how to drive stick, that was the argument. The argument was, why do you have to keep acting like a guy? You're not a guy. You're a girl. And that's a very toxic ethos for an impressionable female to grow up in. But I didn't give a fuck. I just did it. And I'm like, that's stupid. Why would I wait for you to drive me? You're a fucking control freak. Like, you're not going to control me. I will drive myself. I'll teach myself. I'll drive myself. Should I move furniture by myself? Right? It's an absolute power move. When you can be immersed in an ethos that is toxic to you, that is very limiting to you, and you can be like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't. I don't believe any of that. I can't do that because I'm a female. Wow, another time I took my brother's car. I think I was like 17 or maybe 18. I don't know. I took his car to San Francisco. Ooh, the hills. Ooh. And then the cars get so close to the back of your car when you're at a red light. And if you don't know what driving a stick shift, a manual transmission is like, if you're in an incline, you roll back. If you don't know how to do the clutch and gas properly, you're going to roll backwards. Use the e-brake if you don't know what to do. But yeah, no, I made it a point to drive in San Francisco just to prove extra to myself. I never told them because I didn't need to prove anything to them. They were already going to believe what they believe, right? And so to prove to myself, I went and I drove through San Francisco. Like, fuck yeah. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The ethos that you are in, depending on how you receive it, how you allow yourself to be affected by it, it's either going to be the thing that causes you to agree to the limitations, or it's going to be the thing that fuels that internal rebellion. You're going to fight it. I'm all about rebellion. I'm all about rebellion. I love that. It's hot. I just be like, oh, so how much time do you want to give me to show you you're not going to tell me what the fuck to do? Did you need immediate proof, or is this something we can kind of like space out a little bit? I want to know how aggressive I need to pursue this desire to show you, to allow you to witness. You're not going to fucking tell me what to do. And, I never really actually tell them that. I kind of just like, oh, oh, okay. You need me to show you by the end of the day? Oh, I'll show you. Give me 5 minutes. I'm going to come up with a plan. I'll show you. I'm not even going to tell you. You're just going to watch it take place. Because again, I am a sovereign. And by virtue of my sovereignty, I'm the utmost authority over myself and my life. Just like you. You are a sovereign. You need to start acting like it. Okay? You need to allow the balance to take place, to be reestablished. This balance between your light and your darkness. For some of you, part of what's going to happen is you're going to have to reach for your Masca-tool bag in that shadowy space. What's in the Masca-tool bag? Your Masca-tools. These tools that you've acquired via life lessons, via life experiences. Honey, you already have all the answers inside you. You're just not considering all of these different options that have been presented to you in regards to the solutions you can implement. You have experiences every single moment of your life. You have experiences every single moment of your life. And every experience adds a little tidbit of a more ripened understanding of various solutions for future events. But you have to be willing to face your life. And I think that's part of the problem. That's going to set you back. If you're not willing to start looking at some of the experiences that you've had, well, when the experience circles back around using different characters, different people in your life, you're going to feel like you were blindsided yet again. Were you, though? There was a situation that I had to deal with. And before it was a situation, I was like, this is going to be a mother freaking situation. I could already tell this is going to be a situation. And then I kind of stepped back and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to let myself program this. I'm just going to kind of watch this play out. And so I did. And then it did exactly what I knew it would do. It went to the exact circumstance that I already was like, I already know where this is going. I already know, right? And here's the thing, I'm not surprised. Is it because I already knew? No, it's because more and more I'm realizing I'm such an accurate judge of character. I just don't want to believe it. And so I had already sensed that with the stuff that was going on, that, yeah, those were entry points. Those specific characteristics were entry points for not so savory situations. You know who these people are that want what you have. My life lessons always take things too far. I mean, it just does. It just does. It always takes things much too far. So for my life lessons, I'm finally at a point where I accept it as a reality. That when I come across someone who something about them registers and causes alarm bells in me to go off, because I can tell there is a part of them that's not inspired by me. Being inspired by me is one thing. That's beautiful. It's such an honor to me. Like, that's a huge deal to me that I inspire you, that I encourage you to continue to grow and empower yourself and really find what it is you're here to do. That's powerful. That's fine. That's appropriate. But there is this thing that sometimes it will set off alarm bells in me, and I freeze for a little bit because I don't want to believe it for various reasons. And that thing that sets off the alarm bells is when I am faced with a person who has it in their head. They're going to be the next Emmy. This is actually not funny. And I've said this so many times. And ooh, wow. Wow. Just another layer of understanding. I became aware of another layer of understanding. No, I won't take that there. For a second I did, but I won't take that there. I'll explain to you guys the conversation Michael's having with me. So these people who think they're going to be the next Emmy, they always end up possessed. They just do. And I can't extract them. I can't extract them because it's that insecurity, it's that coveting that causes them to be able to be accessed to a deep degree. And by the time they're accessed in that way, and it's typically a principality that will do it, not just a grunt demon, it's a principality. They're allowed to taste a little bit of a power that does not belong to them. It's a ability, a power that they can never reach because it's not part of their destined path. And because they felt that, and they have this cavernous hole of an insecurity about themselves, they will never fully let go of that principality. They will either be overtly or covertly convinced they don't have a problem. I'm just jealous because I can feel they're becoming more powerful than me. Baby boo, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it at all. You were never going to reach that level. And the only reason that you're allowed to feel that is so you can be used as a pawn to harm me. I no longer go out of my way. I learned it for the last time. I will no longer. No. I pick up on that. I'm good. I'm so good. I'm no longer going to try to give someone the opportunity to overcome that potentiality. It's just like, no, keep far away. And that additional layer of understanding that I just developed an awareness of, it's this thing of Michael asking me, how many more times does that need to happen for you to understand? The reason that happens is you are being shown just how fucking powerful you are. I am pushing through. Michael says, push through. Yes, I'm pushing through. So what causes me to feel some intensity and emotion is then my natural instinct to immediately blame myself. It's because I refused to learn the things I needed to learn, that these poor people, no. As soon as that thought started, Michael's like, you going to go there? Are you really going to go there? No, I'm not going to go there. I know it is not my fault. I did not initiate that. I did not encourage that. It is not my fault. I could not control that. And he says, then why are you crying? To which I have no answer. And then he asks, are you here to be a Messiah? No, I'm not. To which he asks again, then why are you crying? because I don't want to leave people that way. To which he responds, they are not you. We have to stop identifying people who are outside of us as the version of us that went through what they are now going through. And so at the end of the day, yet another layer of realization is brought to my attention. That it affects me so deeply to walk away, because at one point, at multiple points, people had to walk away from me too. See, I'm failing to realize, I'm failing to accept and understand. They didn't walk away because it was not their place to help me. They walked away because it was inconvenient, because it was too much, because they didn't want to bother. And that triggered some wound within me. So what we need to do when you go through those things and you have these deeply buried wounds being triggered by current circumstance, you need to identify what's the actual root of the wound. And you'll see it has nothing to do with the circumstance you're living through. It has nothing to do with what you thought it was. It has everything to do with something that happened to you as a child. They say that whatever you don't resolve from your childhood trauma is destined to play out in all of your adult relationships, whether it be platonic friendship or a romantic partnership. Your adult connections will be used to help you sift through the wreckage of your inner child's heart. So there will be those who will covet what you have. Do you understand how much you've been through to have what you have? Do you understand the price that you've already paid to develop the character you now have and refuse to acknowledge? You see, when we get things for free, we have a tendency to not value it. I've learned this over and over as well. When we receive things for free, when we are offered things, if we don't pay, we have a tendency to not value it. Before, when I was still in a space of excessively over-pleasing, over-giving, like excessive, I would give so much away rather than give away little trinkets that are very inexpensive and ship it out to the winner, because I would have, rather than number wars where you get just a quick free reading, I would actually, we would do a drawing. For everyone who shared, we would do a drawing. And with that, whoever wins, you get a private session with me. So one time there was a contest that I held, and No, it wasn't a contest. There's a program that I launched. It was a grant program where you fill out the application, and then every month I would pick someone to win a free mentorship with me. Yeah. That's a 3-hour session, and it's just shy of $500 if you were to purchase that. It's 400 something bucks. And the first person that I chose, because I had spoken to them before and I read everything that they wrote, and it just resonated that this would be perfect use of my time. I could really empower this person. And I will never forget that. It was a very difficult lesson to learn because we did the first session, which was like 2 hours, and then time went by. They had all the instructions, they had the manual that I wrote for them. They knew what techniques they needed to work on, what needed to be changed. And then came time for us to get together again, where I could assess, what's working well, what's needing additional support, so that way we can make some adjustments to our approach. And it was then I asked them, how has it gone? And they were like, oh, I didn't do any of it. You didn't do any of what you were instructed to do? No. But I mean, at least I didn't pay. Right. Right. You see, you think you didn't pay to be the person you are right now, and that's why you see no value in the person that you are right now. You don't realize you've paid with pain, with heartbreak, betrayal, abandonment, rejection, self-abnegation. You paid tremendous price to become who you are right now. And because you don't realize the currency that was used for you to be who you are, there's no value, right? I'm still learning this. I'm still learning this. I'm still learning to understand and accept the intrinsic value that I have and the price that I have paid over and over and over to be who I am right now. Knowing there's still room for improvement, for growth, refinement, all of that. All of that. You paid a very steep price. Very steep price. You need to begin allowing yourself to learn how to value yourself. Everything that you've been through. Everything that you've been through. Have you ever been the recipient of gang stalking and cyberbullying? I have. I have. I don't know why I never took legal action there. I've never taken legal action for a lot of the really fucked up shit that people have done. And when I say fucked up shit, it's not an exaggeration. It's actually an understatement. Some really fucked up shit. I've never retaliated. I've never it's just, I'm just not like that. But damn, I look back and I'm like, bitch, you done paid a fortune in the currency of pain. You better start fucking appreciating where you're at right now. It's like I went through the emotional and spiritual equivalent of attending both Stanford University and Harvard at the same fucking time. You know how expensive that shit is? Imagine paying your tuition in tears. Fuck that. I'm not going to disregard that. I'm not going to disregard that. The lesson that I had to learn about how protected my family is, I had someone defraud me of, I think it was like almost $2,000. In addition to launching a public campaign to slander and libel me, in addition to publicly boasting that they took the money they defrauded from me. They defrauded me that money. They went ahead and they were boasting that they paid a dark arts practitioner who has a large following to curse my children. Huh. And I was like, I know you want me to talk shit about that person, but I don't even know them. I don't know who they are. If you manage to create a problem, that's between the two of you. Has nothing to do with me. I'm not participating. They couldn't get me into this back and forth because, bitch, I don't give a fuck who you are. You're not going to grow your audience off my back. Hell no. I had a very wide reach during that period. Hell no. You got a problem? That's your problem. I ain't got no problem. You want to send your folks into my live streams asking me if I have a problem with you? Why would I have a problem with you? I've never even spoken to you. Or you want me to go on your live stream? For what? You don't resonate with me. We have nothing in common. What do I need to go on your live stream for? To correct people? They're going to believe what they believe. They don't know me. What do I need to do? Prove myself? For what? For what? That's how you stay in your power. And the price that I paid for that, to learn how powerful my children are, man, I was upset for a little bit. I was very upset. And then it became this thing of, that was the opportunity provided to me by soul to help me understand my children are untouchable. They are not to be touched. I didn't even have to do anything. And this is the funniest shit. It's fucking funny to me. I don't care what people think. This shit's fucking hilarious to me. Yeah, after about a week or so, after, they cursed my kids, next thing you know, that person was making all of these posts that I'm really fucked up because guess what? All of the cursing shit I tried to put on my kids, it went to his wife. I mean, you paid for it. It's yours. You're not fucking touching my kids. And that was that. And after that, I know my children will not be touched. That is not allowed. I will never question that again. I can focus on the work that I do without that fear hanging over me. I paid in the price of a mother whose heart was breaking about what the fuck is going to happen to my kids. Not a damn thing is going to happen to my kids. You see, I had to learn through that ugly circumstance. It is also my blood that runs through their veins. My children, at their bare minimum, run the full capacity of their mother. You add in the capacity of their father. They're formidable. You add in their divine purpose. They're unfucking touchable. I don't need to worry. I don't need to worry. I don't need to feel shame, guilt, fear. Everything you've been through, everything you're going through is teaching you something about yourself. You have to stop giving such a damn about what these weak ass people want. Do not waste your energy on that. Cut their access to you. Don't be apologetic about it. You don't have to explain shit. They know what they're doing. I don't know why Emmy cut me off. And then people would message me, hey, what happened? What happened with you and so? Did you block them? Yes, I did. Why are you asking? Well, they don't know why you blocked them. Oh, I'm fairly certain they do know. But, that's between me and them. They're aware. No, they don't know. No, they are telling you they don't know. They know exactly what they did, what their intention was. Besides, it's between me and them. If you want to discuss this further, you can discuss it with them because clearly they want to talk about it with you. Which, by the way, why do they feel so comfortable talking about me with you? People get real quiet when the conversation goes that way. They get real quiet. And as they get real quiet, I go even deeper into my piece. No, you will not pull me out of center. Be gone, minion of darkness. Sometimes you just have to let yourself incubate in that space of peace and stillness. You just have to let yourself sit in there, percolate, absorb some of that peace. Let yourself process whatever needs to be processed so that you can go and awaken even further. Develop that awareness of where life is bringing you. The most difficult thing that happens as you go through a process like this is when you lack the intention. You have to know what you're intending to do. You can't move past something if you don't know what direction you want to go into. Are you going into a space of correction? Are you going into a space of retaliation? I wouldn't. Retaliation and revenge is just, it becomes a very, very vicious cycle. It becomes something that is just so toxic and it will poison you from the inside out. It just will. And then one day you'll wake up and not remember who you were before all of this happened. Michael says, okay. He says, tell you what happened to me in that process. Well, I chose not to retaliate. I didn't choose revenge. My downfall was that I didn't even choose to correct. So that it emboldened those who are doing the things that they were doing. And then one day, because I allowed it to perpetuate, one day I woke up and I didn't recognize myself. And then I realized the things I go through are supposed to change me. It's supposed to change you because the person you were when that event, that circumstance, drama, whatever it is, the person that you were when that started, it couldn't be allowed to continue. because you would allow it. You would continue to allow it. And so you're supposed to change. Excuse me. You're supposed to allow yourself to change and become a more evolved, more aware version of you. Less masks, less people pleasing, less compromising yourself and your needs just to appease the demands of the people who don't care what happens to you. You're supposed to change. That's what's supposed to happen. And when I was able to accept that, I began to realize the person that I'm changing into is actually not even bad. It's not a bad thing. They kind of like me now. Actually, that's not completely accurate. I don't kind of like me now. I really deeply love me now. I love that even though so many people have tried to encourage me to become a hollow shell of the person that I am, the opposite happened. Every attempt to try and destroy me, to corrupt me, to taint me, the opposite happened. Not only were they not successful, what ended up happening was that thing was the very reason I became more of who I am. I lost my aversion to my most authentic parts. Before, I mean, God, it was such an embarrassing thing to even think about me mouthing off to someone who was being disrespectful, confrontational, aggressive, and whatever it is, right? And I don't just mouth off. Like, you really got to push me to there. And I used to be so ashamed that I'm fucking fierce, that I'm formidable, that I have the ability to articulate in such a powerful way that you will shut the fuck up and stop being disrespectful to me. Excuse me. Right? I used to be like, oh my God. Oh, I don't want people to see me like that. Oh my God, it's so ugly. Now I'm like, bitch, you don't know me well enough to be approaching me that way. If you think you gonna get away with that shit, you gonna learn today, baby. I'll be your teacher. You don't want to learn that? Leave me the fuck alone. It's simple. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm peaceful when you leave me alone. When you keep trying to fuck with me, the parts of me that have the capacity to defend me come out. They're all valid parts. They're not characters that I play. They're not. This is me. This is me. Unmasked. This is me, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. This is me. It's amazing. The sense of liberation that I have, the freedom. I'm just going to be me. It's going to be what it's going to be. Because you know what? I learned all these people that I tried to please. I tried to play a character, a docile person, excessively generous, excessively accessible, all of these different things, right? That didn't stop the fucked up people from trying to do seriously fucked up shit to me. You can't control how people are. You can control whether or not they have access to you. That guy I was telling you about who defrauded me and then used that money to pay someone to curse my kids. You know how that started? I could see he had no integrity. I could see it plain as day. Yeah. And so when he privately asked me if I would teach him how to do energy work because he wanted to take clients, I politely declined and felt like it was not appropriate for me to do so. He was going to pay me. I didn't feel it was right because I knew he lacked integrity and ability. Yeah. And that's why he got pissed off and did all of that. Huh? That's how that started. Yeah. That's how that started. You're not going to be able to control people and how they react to you. There will be people who will have integrity and will be able to accept when you say, no, thank you. Or, I'm sorry, it's not aligned with what I feel is appropriate. And then there will be those who will wild out when they don't get what they want. And I'm happy to say the version of me that is dominant at this point in my life does not give a fuck if you're going to have a tantrum. I don't care. Take that shit to your mom. I'm not your mom. You did not traverse my vaginal canal. I did not birth you. You are not my issue. Take that shit to your mom. Take that shit to your mom. I'm not ashamed to say that either. You are not my responsibility. No. No. You know, my son taught me this one thing. So I'm not going to share his screen name, but I am going to kind of boast a little bit because my kids are fucking accomplished people. My son's a big fucking deal. He has this huge underground following and he's a big fucking deal. Like the things that he's done, the projects he's done have gone viral. Big names in the industry that he's in follow him. So he's a big fucking deal. But here's the thing. This is what he taught me the other day. He was like, you know, if people are going to act stupid in a live stream, he has this thing that he does. It's called the pin of shame. You want to comment stupid shit, you're going to fucking be pinned. Your comment's going to be pinned so people can see your idiotic fucking behavior. To Kindor, welcome and congratulations for being the first pin of shame. Emmy Evolving, happy birthday. I don't know what you're saying. The ways of a horse are beautiful. Yeah, we're going to just leave that on the screen. You want attention? You got it. There you go. I am going to ban you so you can't. You can't comment any further. You're banned. But we're going to keep the pin of shame up because your behavior is shameful. You think I'm going to be offended that you called me a horse? As someone who has a very recessive lower half of my face, and I have really tiny features, I've actually loved people who have horse-like features. That doesn't offend me. It doesn't offend me at all. And I love horses. They have an emotional intelligence that you clearly lack. You having fun yet? You having fun? Oh, that's right. I forgot you're banned. You can't comment. It's fun, right? We're having fun. Right. Right. Pin of shame right there. You should be ashamed for the way you conduct yourself. I know your mom's probably ashamed of you. Because I know if I was your mom, I'd be absolutely ashamed. This is my space. It is my space that I share with others. And I cultivate it as I see fit. I respond to what I want to respond to, and I ignore what I don't want to respond to. Begone, Satan, you have no power here. None. At all. Feel free to share out my video to your troll groups. It'll improve my algorithm. I don't give a fuck. Invite your friends. Let them watch. Go ahead. Invite your friends. Share this live stream out to whatever troll groups you want. My page needs a boost because I'm, again, shadow banned on Facebook. Go on, minion. Do the work I've commanded of you. Show me out. Card number 29, shine. Let yourself shine regardless. Let yourself just shine. Allow yourself to blind these cave-dwelling motherfuckers. Just let yourself shine. That's what you were made to do, to shine. Not shine because you are elevated and more important. And I think that's nonsensical logic. Shine because as a candle, that's what you were designed to do, to emit a light, to help others find their way back to themselves. It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing to understand your purpose, to remove the ego and allow your purpose to be served in the most honorable, most integrity filled way. Shadow self in reverse. For many of us, you saw my behavior a few minutes ago, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't ever say that. Why? Are you going to allow yourself to continue to believe that operating in a way that is in alignment with society's programmed expectations of you, your adherence to the societal norms is going to get you brownie points with the people who clearly do not behave within the parameters set by society? Sometimes you have to speak the language of the people you're addressing. You want to speak to me in troll? I will respond to you in troll if I choose to respond, right? Hey, Effie. Y'all doing okay today, you and M? If you guys were not in my TikTok live stream last night, you missed out on Effie's reading. It was profound. It was profound, definitely. So, worlds within worlds, but it's in reverse. This is telling me you're still trying to keep the aspects of you that are rising to the surface and are to be used in a very powerful, again, integrity filled way. Shoving it down is not going to negate it. It's not going to make it go away. It's just going to compact things. It's going to make it harder for you. They want what you have. Okay. Let them see what you have. Let them see what you have. You have this bright light. Let them see it. Let them touch it. Hey, you want to touch my light? You want to touch my sacred flame? Don't fucking cry to me when you get burned. You want to play all these games and try and touch the fire? Touch the fire? Okay. You go right ahead. Touch the fire. You go right ahead. These people know what they're doing. I think for some of you, what you need to hear is that these people, whoever they are for you, they've been observing you for some time. And as they have been observing you, ooh, hold up. Hold up. Yeah. Do 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 do. Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. Hold on. Because this was profound. I hope I can download it. Where are you? Where are you? I swear to God, I send myself so many freaking workout videos. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I did download it. Hold on. It's this one. Hold on. Oh, Okay. I don't know what's happening here. It has no audio. Okay. I'm just going to put it on the screen just so you could see this beautiful woman's face. Oh, no. No, 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 no. I don't know how to work my phone. Calm down, girl. Slow it on down. Here. I'll read it to you guys. I'll be the narrator. Ba-da-da-da. Maybe it does have audio once it drops on the laptop. Okay, this was profound. Mhm. All right. Oh, I got to put her on the screen. Share it. All right. Here goes. Oh, if someone offends me or someone hurts me or does something to me, it rolls off my shoulders pretty easy. If somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, will you forgive me for what I did to you?" I'm gonna forgive them and say, "Girl, come on, let's move on. We get this. It's all right. I'm wired that way. I'm easygoing." But if I find out, I'm saying don't get it twisted. If I find out that someone's been scheming, that's a whole different story. Because scheming implies pre-planning. If you've been scheming against me, that means you've been watching for a little while. You've tripped in trying to figure out, oh, wait, slow down. You've tripped in trying to figure out what it is about me is most weak, most frail, most vulnerable, so that you can take advantage of me. You've been studying me to find out what my patterns are and what the predilection of my flesh is and what my preferences are, so that you can figure out the best time to take most full advantage of me and the people that I love. Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Yep. When someone is going out of their way, they've been watching you for some time. And when they are going out of their way to that degree, learning you, how to most efficiently take advantage of you and exploit the most beautiful parts of you. I'll tell you right now, that's some fuck shit action right there. No, 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 no. We are not letting that shit ride. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That needs to be corrected with no hesitation. That cannot be allowed to continue. And this is what life has taught me. To allow something like that to continue is to disregard your strength. Your emotions are telling you something very powerful is happening right now. And I think those emotions that rise up as you are getting frustrated and upset about having to correct a behavior, that is intentional. When someone is scheming, it is intentional. It is not a mistake. It is not a misunderstanding. It is intentional. And when that needs to be corrected, honey, you start crying about needing to correct. That emotion is about your soul grieving the fact that you are considering betraying yourself, abandoning yourself. For what? To maintain a peace that doesn't actually exist? Because I tell you, baby boo, if someone is scheming on you, plotting, planning, there was no peace there. The only reason there is peace there is because you've kept your mouth shut real tight. That is not peace. That is not peace. Refusing to awaken to the reality of what's happening, refusing to not allow yourself to be fully aware, completely cognitive. That's a betrayal of self. That is a massive betrayal of self. Let's make an analogy. Let's reframe this to help you better and more powerfully understand the degree of betrayal. So, a kid, a young kid, I would say like 4, 5 years old, right? Kids that age, they can articulate, but they definitely cannot defend themselves. They cannot protect themselves. They don't have enough life experience, enough awareness. They need an adult to protect them, to advocate for them. All of these really beautiful things that children deserve. So, this 4-year-old who is going to be harmed. That if they leave your house, maybe you're babysitting. If they leave your house, they're going to be harmed. In what way? I don't even want to think about it. That's just so like I don't want to think about things like that. But they're going to be harmed, and so it's this thing of presenting you with two scenarios. You say something and you protect that child who cannot defend themselves. And that way the parent is not mad at you. Or, right, you say something and you protect that child. Now the parent's mad at you, right? Because you shouldn't be in their business and you la 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 la. Or you don't say anything knowing harm is going to befall that child. And you're just like, oh, I just feel so bad. But, it's not my place to say anything. I mean, what you gonna do? Is that okay? One time I was working in Victoria's Secret. It was a long time ago. So I must have been, I think I was like 19. I was working in Victoria's Secret. This lady comes in. She had quite a few kids with her, like baby kids. They were running amok in the store. I was not bothered by it. And this lady, you could tell she's getting real pissed off, real frustrated. She had a baby in a stroller, like I would say maybe 4 or 5 months old, maybe 6 months, no more than 6 months. It's a small baby. Um, and the baby's crying and she's getting real mad. She's like, you better be quiet. She's yelling at all the kids, which I don't know what's happening, but like I don't want her to yell at a baby. It's a baby, right? It's a baby. And so she's shopping and I'm like, do you mind? I'll carry your baby so you could shop. I'll walk beside you. And she goes, oh yeah, could you? And I was like, yeah, no, it's no problem. I'm wearing I used to be bougie. I did. When I was like late teens, I was bougie. And so I had on a bougie suit. And I picked up the baby. Oh my fucking God. The baby's diaper was wet. It had soaked through all the baby's clothes. It puddled in the stroller. And as soon as I picked up the baby, it was all over my suit. And I was like, do you have a diaper and extra clothes in your baby bag? And she's like, oh, you can just put him back in his seat. No, it's okay. If you don't mind, I just go to the back. I will, the back of the register. You can still see me. I'll change the baby's diaper for you. And she's like, oh, you sure? And I said, yeah, it's okay. No problem. Because the alternative was to place this poor child back in the stroller that's soaked in pee, in their wet clothes and overly filled diaper, and have his mother continue to scream at him. I'm not like that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I will change that baby's diaper. You give me the wipes, the diaper is no problem. I will change his clothes. and I will figure out a way. I put tissue fucking paper in this stroller. I did. I put a really thick layer of tissue paper in that stroller before I put the baby back in to kind of create at least some barrier between the wet seat and the baby. And that was that. And my manager was like, "I can't believe you did all of that." And I was like, "Was it bad?" She goes, "I wouldn't do it. Oh my God, you touched that baby's pee." I was like, "It's a baby. It's a baby. Pee is sterile when it first comes out." She's like, "Oh my gosh, you're just a saint." I was like, "No, that's a baby. That's a baby. You don't do that. You don't ignore the needs of a child." So what if you were that child? Why do you ignore your needs? You are still that child in adult form, but still that child. You need to speak up for yourself. You need to not give consent. You need to be vocal and clear in what you do not give consent to. Now, I'm not saying if you don't give a very clear, vocal, you know, it's not your fault. You didn't deserve it. Whatever it is, that doesn't mean you deserve it. It means you need to start using your voice. It means you need to speak up. It means you need to restrict or completely retract any access to you. Communication in reverse. This is an indication there is someone, for some of you, you have to halt all communication. You cannot allow it to continue any further. I get the sense someone's already been plotting on you. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm sure you can feel if I'm talking to you. I betrayed myself by staying in a relationship where I knew damn well it wasn't for me. I betrayed myself and got hurt at the end. Big lesson. It was worth it if you learned. If you learned the lesson, it was worth it. You were worth it. Learning what you will never again allow. That is energy, time, emotions that are well paid, well used. You see, this belief that life is supposed to be easy and perfect and just a fairy tale. You don't learn anything in that type of environment. You don't grow, you stagnate. That's why, as much as I've been through in life, I'm worth it. No, I'm not excusing away the really fucked up shit that other people have done to me. Those people are still assholes in my eyes. Oh, rightfully so. I have an absolute right to have that opinion based on my life experiences because of what was done to me. That does not make me a bad person. It makes me real, honest, and powerful as fuck to be able to speak my truth publicly. I ain't gonna play no fucking role. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not going to play this role like everything's all good. If it's not all good, it's not all good. You want it to be all good, do things to make it all good. And here's a little hint. Sometimes people will do things that they can never make all good ever again. And I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with them doing that to me. I'm okay with accepting the fact it will never again be all good. You've already shown me who you are. And I believe you. I believe you. I believe what you've shown me. No, it was not a misunderstanding. You intentionally did what you did. I believe you. Thank you for showing me very clearly the reasoning why you have no place in my life. Now, that's not mean. That's me loving myself. That is me loving myself. And when you do that, that is you loving yourself. And the people who have a problem with that, they're showing you exactly who they are. Someone who doesn't believe that you deserve to exist with dignity in a space of peace. Fuck those people. I mean it. I absolutely 100% mean that. Fuck those people. There's billions of other people like that. It's not a loss to you. I promise you. You're holding on to someone who hurts you. There is no shortage of people in this world who are willing to hurt you, willing to use you. Let that one go. You have a fetish of being hurt, your feelings hurt. Okay, give someone else a chance to hurt your feelings. Quit playing with the same toxic trash. Not even joking. That's how I see things. People who are hurtful to you, who want what you have, and they're trying to convince you like you need them. No, the fuck I don't. I'm never gonna find someone like you again. I mean, that's the point. Why would I want someone like you again? You're an asshole. Like, I'm not gonna miss you. I'm not. Thank God. Capricorn moon, Capricorn Venus, Capricorn in my 7th house. Bitch. Bitch. I'm not tripping. It's not a loss. It's not a loss. People who are willing to hurt you, who have no problem hurting you, what, because they're hurting? That's not a loss. I mean that. It's a clearing out. It's a reorganization of your life. It's a creating of space for the healthy, the empowering to enter. You're holding on to a placeholder. That was simply holding the space until it was time for the real thing to show up, the real friend, the real family, the real partner. I know I speak in a very raw, very blunt manner. It can be abrasive, brash, but it's never untruthful. It's never a lie. You can say what you want about the way I deliver messages, but you can never accuse me of being a liar or playing games. Ever. Ever. That's what you need in your life. I'm not saying you need me in your life. I mean, I'm in your life if you're watching this. But I'm not saying you need me. I'm saying that is what you need. Someone who can be honest, who's not intending to hurt your feelings, but despite knowing it might hurt your feelings, they are going to choose to be full of integrity and be honest with you. That's what you need. That's what you deserve. And that is what you will have at the end of all of this. That is what you will have. Aunt Shell, stop. Aunt Shell wrote, it's one huge thing I love about you, the fucking honesty. I'm telling you, I don't know if people with Asperger's just can't lie, but no, this is how I am. I just got to be honest. I can't do it. I can't play the games. I can't tell you what you want to hear knowing it's not right. There was one time there was an event. It was an in-person event. There was an event that I was hosting. And this person was a bit delulu, right? It's just, I don't know. And they created this whole storyline about how they're the mother of all things. They're Sophia, basically, right? The wife of God. And that all the other guests at this event were once we were all their children at one point, and it was just this whole thing. I was just like, so not resonating. Not even going to say nothing. So I'm so not resonating. And then at the final night, I was going to go out to go look at stars with everybody, and they stood in front of me and they grabbed my arms. Like, what the fuck are you touching me for? I don't like to be touched by people, not without my consent. Like, but she grabbed my arms and I just looked at her like, we're gonna fight. But then this other guest was there who I just adored, and I looked at them and I was like, but I don't want to traumatize you. I don't want you to see me fighting somebody. What am I gonna do? And I was like, okay, I can't be aggressive. So I let this person lead me to the couch where they were tightly, they were gripping my wrists tightly. And they brought me to the couch and like they need me to agree and to I was like, okay. Um and then they started crying because I wasn't playing along. I was just like, um that does not resonate with me. And when they started crying, what I felt was internally, I was like, bitch, this is so fucking manipulative. I don't give a shit if you're crying. Hello. Capricorn moon, Capricorn Venus, Capricorn in my 7th house. Cap all day. I was just like, so I need you to tell me what you need from me. Do you want the truth or do you want me to comfort you? Because those are two separate things. I can't do both. So, do you want me to tell you the truth or do you want me to comfort you? Because, and I didn't tell them, but I'm sure they already knew. The truth involved me saying, you're fucking crazy. This is bullshit. You made it all the fuck up. I think you got a parasite, and you better watch the fuck out if you touch me again. But they not dumb. So they chose to be comforted. I said, okay, do you want a hug? They're like, yes. Okay. So I hugged them from the side, like, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Because I'm not going to play along. I'm not going to play along. And they had watched me for long enough to know when you in Delulu land, you never choose truth. If I'm asking you if you want me to tell you the truth, it's going to shatter your whole story. My husband's calling me out. He says, I thought you were going to be on for an hour and a half. It's an hour and 48 minutes. I got to go, guys. That's that. Reading is done. I went over the time. Let everything unfold. Observe neutrally and then make your decisions. Never place someone else's fragile ego over your tangible needs as a person and as a soul. Never. That is not something you compromise on. A need must always be prioritized over a preference. Okay? Your needs are important. They want what you have. So you must protect what you have. They want it because they see the value, the sacredness. And sometimes what they want, what it is you have, can be as simple as your peace. Protect your peace. Protect your sacred space. Protect your energy. You are worth going to war for. Blu-rays, Suit up. We have a lot of people we're needing to protect. You're about to be given the opportunity to show out a little bit. If you suspect that you're a Blu-ray and you want to learn how to harness your energy, your power, go check it out. Morphogenetic Fundamentals Workshop. I finally loaded a date on my calendar for this workshop. If you would like to learn how to utilize your energy in a very potent, very powerful way, how to maintain your space, this is the workshop that will introduce you to it. My system is different from all other systems. Why? are you serious? Michael says it's time for me. Are you sure? Michael says it's time for me to share. I am filtered through a Blu-ray line. I am. My system is a very advanced form of Blu-ray knowledge. He says, just say it. Part of my coding was designed for spiritual warfare. I'm very well versed in it. And in order to be a spiritual super soldier, you have to understand the mechanics, frequency, ascension. You have to understand physiology, all of that, of whoever you're going against. So you can use that knowledge either in a destructive way, war making, or you can use it to repair. The most skilled Blu-ray soldiers, they go into the battlefield alone. That means you have to know how to repair any injuries you sustain. No one is coming for you. There is no cavalry. You have to know how to repair yourself. This is part of what I teach. That's what this Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop is. It teaches you how to repair field injuries so that you can maintain your field, you can maintain your space, you can defend yourself, having a basic understanding of how powerful you are and how to harness that power in your self-defense. It's a very powerful workshop, very, very potent, very information dense. If you're ready to learn things like that, Morphogenetic Fundamentals Workshop. I don't remember what date. It should say it on the actual link. Excuse me. Michael had me bust myself out. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. I'm very well versed in spiritual warfare. Don't fuck around and find out. I'm just saying. Leave me in my peace. I love it there. Gotta get going, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. Go check out my workshop and all my other offerings. I also have the QR code for my website, all the different activations and sessions you can choose from. Will there be hold on. Will there be a replay if we can't make it to the live workshop? Yes, you can still access the recorded workshop for quite some time after the event has concluded. And then, can you do this workshop online from Australia? Yes, the entire workshop is actually a virtual workshop. So you don't even have to leave your home. You just need internet access. You could do it off of your phone, tablet, laptop. All you need is internet access. And you'll be provided a written PDF. I created a PDF, a manual for it, and I'll be doing actual live instruction, which will be recorded. And we do the techniques together to ensure that you know what it feels like when you're doing it properly. So that way, you could be very well versed in running your frequency through your own energetic field. It's a very fun workshop for me. And what I hear from many people who take it, many, if not all the people who have taken it, it's a life altering workshop experience for them, because it's probably the first time they've ever felt the true gravity of their personal power. Y'all are more powerful than you realize. I will keep saying it until you understand what it means. You are more powerful than you realize. It's time you learn. It's time you understand and experience for yourself just how powerful you actually are, because it's powerful. You are powerful. Okay, I got to go. I hear my husband coming. Bye, guys.